Waste, garbage, or trash is an unwanted material that is discarded because it is no longer used after the process or item is finished. Indonesians are still careless about this, and trash in general because they keep throwing trash whenever or wherever they want. To preface, waste can be classified into two types, non-organic or organic. This type of waste comes from non-renewable natural resources such as minerals or petroleum, or from long-running industrial processes that take hundreds of years to decompose. This includes waste that cannot be decomposed at all, such as styrofoam. Some inorganic substances can be decomposed by nature, while others such as glass bottles, plastics, and cans can be decomposed in a long process. The other is organic waste consisting of animals and plants in the natural world, where the decomposition of vegetables, fruit skins, leaves, etc. occurs naturally in a relatively short time. The process is simple and the waste is naturally decomposed in a short time. The types of waste materials and times to degrade are as they present. Plastic, 50 to 100 years. Cigarette butts, 10 years. Soft drink cans or aluminum, 8 to 100 years. Cardboard, 5 months. Orange peels, 6 months. Leather shoes, 24 to 40 years. Piece of paper, 2 to 5 months. Batteries, 100 years. Styrofoam, which are non-degradable. Aluminum, 8 to 100 years. And plastic, be it packaged detergent, shampoo, etc., 50 to 80 years. There are among 3 points today that I'm going to be bringing up my argument and reasoning as to why I agree with today's motion. First of all, Indonesia's growing waste problem. Indonesia is a country of up to 255 million people and produces both organic and inorganic waste daily. Both types of waste have about the same amount. The main issue are public awareness and inadequate waste management. The amount of waste during the daily Indonesia reaches about 11,303 tons per day and is estimated to be about 4,078 million tons per year nationwide. And thus because of this, Indonesia faces a mounting pollution crisis. Among the issues that we face with waste, are which the main problem are plastic waste. Plastic in Indonesia are valued materials with a key role in the economy, and the nation generates around 6.8 million tons of plastic waste per year, a figure that is growing by 5% annually. According to an insight report by the World Economic Forum, 70% of Indonesia's plastic waste, an estimated 4.8 million tons per year in said report, is considered mismanaged in ways such as being openly burned, dumped on land, or in poorly managed official dump sites, or leaking into waterways and the ocean. Despite major commitments from governments, industry, and civil society, the flow of plastic waste into the country's water bodies is projected to grow by 3% between 2017 and 2025, from 620,000 tons per year to an estimated 780,000 tons per year. Now, why do we do this? Why is there such a problem? The reason as to why is number 1, underdeveloped and underfunded solid waste management systems with low waste collection resulting in open burning or dumping of plastic waste. Where plastic waste is collected, waste systems very rarely have segregation of recyclables. Now, this leads to high contamination rates, lower value for recycling, and high chance of post-collection leakage. Number 2, avoidable or problematic use of plastics, such as the use of excess plastics in the packaging of goods, or unnecessary use of problematic materials that yield negative environmental impacts. Number 3, low or no after-use value for many types of plastic waste relative to other recyclable materials, such as aluminum cans, and relative to the time taken for collection of many plastic waste items, which limits the amount of plastic waste that the informal or private sector is able to economically collect and recycle. Number 4, decentralized and fragmented governments and accountability for waste management across multiple levels of a local government. In some areas, accountability is delegated to the village level or even lower, while challenges of subscale economics and a shortage of technical knowledge and implementation capacity. Number 5, low investment from local governments. Now, this is due to multiple competing demands on annual budgets, for example, road construction, education, healthcare, and irrigation infrastructure. This is also compounded by the absence of a common system that would enable households to efficiently and consistently pay for waste management services, such as through their electricity bills, a practice has been implemented in several other countries. 6 point, institutional and technical capacity gaps in other developed monitoring and informational systems, which make it challenging to enforce policy and incentivize good practices. Number 7, shortage of suitable land for water waste facilities. Number 8, limited options for valorized organic waste in the Indonesian context, where chemical fertilizers were subsidized. Organic waste represents more than 60% of total weight in the municipal waste stream and is a major driver of the cost of running full system management system. Let's take, for example, Jakarta, our capital city. Waste management in Jakarta is covered by local governments under the Environmental Agency. The current condition of waste management is still focusing on transporting waste from the source of temporary waste storage and to the landfill. However, the condition of waste management in Jakarta is critical as the amount of waste generated increases without being followed with appropriate waste management. Waste at the source is still not segregated, and a substantial amount of waste is directly dumped in open dumps or landfills, which have been known to be unsanitary and produce greenhouse gases. Municipal waste from Indonesian households is the largest waste stream, followed by traditional markets. Currently, the most common waste management methods are landfill and field incinerators. Landfills have been built in Jakarta, but illegal dumping still occurs. In other words, this is supported by a statement by the Jakarta government that the trash pile at the Bantar Gebang landfill has reached a height of about 15 meters on existing 104 hectares of land area. The open area making it increasingly difficult to identify a new location for disposal. Attempts to adopt unsanitary landfilling techniques have been unsuccessful, partly due to appropriate designs and poor operation management. Second point, the effects of our waste. Improper waste disposal and management causes all types of pollution, be it pollution through air, soil, or even water. Indiscriminate dumping of waste contaminates surface and groundwater supplies. In urban areas and local areas, waste clogs drains, creating stagnant water for insect breeding and mass sludge in rainy seasons. Uncontrolled burning of waste and improper incineration contributes significantly to urban air pollution. Waste burning itself releases harmful substances into the atmosphere. Around 5,600 tons of particulates were emitted from burning past in 2017 and are often emitted close to where people live. Plastic burning also emits several tons of heavy metals, like for example lead, nickel, chromium, zinc, each year from inks and additives. Greenhouse gases are generated from the decomposition of organic waste in landfills, and untreated leachate pollutes surrounding soil and water bodies. Health and safety issues also arise from improper waste disposal. Insects and rodents are attracted to waste and can spread diseases such as cholera and parasitic infections. Using water polluted by waste are later for bathing, food irrigation, and drinking water expose individuals to disease organisms and other contaminants. Substances from water burning are carcinogenic, and prolonged exposure increases the risk of cardiovascular diseases. Third point, waste crime. According to Interpol, environmental crime is a serious and growing international problem and includes both pollution-based crimes and wildlife crimes. Pollution-based crime includes waste crime, which occurs due to illegal trading and disposal of hazardous waste, or through the wider contribution of national and international waste laws. An environmental crime summit led by Interpol in Lyon 2012 highlighted some of the challenges which should be addressed in relation to environmental crime. Number 1, environmental crime has serious and adverse effects on the planet, biodiversity, and human life, which needs to receive high attention on the political agenda nationally, regionally, and globally. Number 2, environmental crime is interconnected with other types of crimes, including corruption, tax evasion, and drug trafficking. Number 3, environmental crime requires increased attention from all competence of the law enforcement chain, from police officers on the ground to the judicial system. Problem number 5. Problems of investigation and operational support are exacerbated by multinational law enforcement operations with the need to interrogate environmental crime to maintain crime. According to Indonesian law number 32 of the year 2009 of environment protection and management, everyone has the same right to a healthy environment. Everyone must also bear 2 obligations: 1, to maintain the environmental functions of sustainability, and 2, to prevent and resolve environmental pollution and destruction. Then, the environmental pollution is problems with environmental pollution and destruction caused and subject to legal sanction. Environmental issues are thus inseparable from corporate attempts to exploit natural resources. Corporate interests that exploit natural resources or profit are on the rise in Indonesia. The rapid development is a function of accommodating government regulations, which increase entrepreneurial convenience and provide other facilities. Now, as a president, I acknowledge and recognize the problems I have said in my argument, and further, I agree with this motion which should criminalize offenses against not recycling due to underlying effects on the environment and those around it. I beg for you to consider.